Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into something, well, pretty groundbreaking in communication, especially for people with severe paralysis.
That's right. We're focusing on the story of Brad Smith. He's the first nonverbal ALS patient who's regained the ability to communicate using a Neuralink brain implant combined with AI.
It's a story that really offers a lot of hope,
Hmm.
for anyone facing major speech and movement challenges. We've looked at reports from Fox Business and some other places covering this.
Mm.
And our goal here is really to understand, what is this technology exactly, and what kind of impact has it actually had on Brad's life, and what could it mean for others?
Yeah, it feels like a really significant moment. Brad's experience, based on the reports, it's not just theoretical anymore, it's a real-world application.
Definitely. So maybe let's start with what Brad's situation was like before this implant. He has nonverbal ALS, right?
Correct. ALS had taken away almost all his voluntary movement, so communication was incredibly difficult.
He was using an eye gaze system, I read.
Yes, but it had serious limitations. Apparently, it worked best only in dark environments.
Wow. So that really limits interaction, doesn't it? You can't just chat whenever you want.
Exactly. Think about the lack of spontaneity, the dependence it creates.
Yeah.
It heavily restricted his independence and just, well, normal conversation.
So this Neuralink implant, how does it actually work? What's the tech?
Okay, so fundamentally, it's what's called a brain-computer interface, or BCI. They've implanted this device, tiny, with 1,024 electrodes.
1024. That sounds like a lot. Where do they go?
They're placed very precisely in the motor cortex. That's the part of the brain planning and executing movements. So when Brad thinks about moving, say, his hand, these electrodes pick up those specific neural signals, the electrical activity.
And then it sends those signals out somehow.
Exactly. Wirelessly. It uses Bluetooth to send the data to a computer.
So he can control a cursor on a screen just by thinking.
That's the idea. He thinks about the movement, and the cursor moves. It's part of Neuralink's PRIME study, which is focused on seeing how safe and practical these devices are for people with paralysis from spinal cord injuries or conditions like ALS.
Okay, that's the interface part. But you mentioned AI plays a big role too. How does that fit in?
Right, the AI is crucial for the communication aspect. There are sort of two key things happening here. First, AI was used to analyze recordings of Brad's voice from before he lost his speech due to ALS.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, using that data, they could essentially recreate his voice digitally. So when he uses the system to speak, like typing out messages that are read aloud, it's in his own unique voice.
That must be incredibly powerful, just hearing your own voice again after losing it.
Absolutely. Psychologically, that's huge. And the second AI part is about interaction. He navigates his computer, a MacBook Pro, using the implant, moving the cursor, selecting text, all with thought.
Okay.
And there's also an AI chat application he uses. It understands the conversation and actually suggests possible responses for him.
So it makes it faster, more fluid.
Much more fluid. It cuts down the time it takes to type things out letter by letter. He can participate more naturally in a flowing conversation. It's become his main communication tool now, replacing that cumbersome eye gaze system.
So the overall impact on his daily life must be immense then.
Transformative seems like the right word, based on the reports. It's about regaining autonomy, isn't it? The ability to express himself spontaneously.
Yeah.
He can join in conversations as they happen, share jokes, express gratitude online, things that were incredibly difficult or just impossible before. It's giving him back his voice, literally and figuratively.
So thinking beyond Brad's individual experience, what does this suggest for the future? The wider implications?
Well, it paints a pretty hopeful picture, I think. If this technology proves safe and becomes more accessible, it could be revolutionary for many people with severe paralysis.
Giving them back agency.
Exactly. Agency in their relationships, maybe even possibilities for work, for just participating more fully in their communities. It breaks down some really profound barriers that conditions like ALS create.
So summing it up, Brad Smith's story really highlights how neurotechnology, combined with AI, can potentially restore not just communication, but a significant measure of independence and quality of life.
Absolutely. It's a powerful demonstration.
And it definitely leaves us with something to think about, doesn't it, for you listening?
Mhm.
How far could these brain-computer interfaces go?
How might they evolve and integrate more seamlessly into daily life for people facing these kinds of challenges? Could this fundamentally change assistive technology and really our relationship with computers?
A fascinating question to ponder.